Welcome back. Another glorious day here in England. Just been working behind myself, building some raised flower beds. I just thought I'd take a short break, film another video to do with the carnivore lifestyle. A couple of things I've been thinking about the biggest pushbacks that you're going to get and the potential pushbacks that are coming, and you can see it coming a mile away. So for anybody who's started carnivore, this will make sense to you, but anybody who's thinking about starting it, the surprising biggest pushback you're going to get is going to be from friends and family. They're not going to understand. I mean, you take into account when you first hear about it, and you think back to the first time you heard about it and you thought, what's this crazy guy talking about? Just eating meat and fat, that's dangerous for you and stuff like that. Because we've all been brainwashed. And we've been indoctrinated into a certain way of living through marketing and clever campaigns and lobbyists and all that rubbish. So when you start and you start noticing a benefit and you'll start wanting to stick to it, you might say, I'm going to do 30 days or 60 days or like me, 90 days I initially wanted to start on. But as I've noticed the benefits that have, as I've noticed the great benefits that it's given me, I can now see myself sticking on this all the time. Now, I've had a lot of pushback from family, some friends, but I'm very selective of my friends anyway. Most in particular, my wife. Now, my wife's vegan. She's been vegetarian. She was vegetarian for, I would say, about 30 years. Maybe a little bit longer, and then 5 years strict vegan. You know, I've tried the vegan diet, tried vegetarian diet, all that rubbish. Now, she does it for what she classes as ethical reasons. Not that she doesn't realise that people eat meat and, you know, everything on the planet eats something, but she just doesn't like the thought of animals dying. So that's up to her, it's her choice, that's fine. But she's more upset that she thinks that I'm going to have a major heart attack or a stroke and my arteries are going to be clogged. And I try explaining to her that, you know, that she's been indoctrinated into the same propaganda bullshit that you have and I have. And until you try it yourself, it really opens your eyes. But you get a lot of pushback, and I get a lot of pushback from my parents. You know, they've been fed the same thing. So that'll be the hardest thing that you're going to face. It's going to be pushback from people who are really close to you, but you have to understand that they are doing it from a place of concern and love. So it's not as though they hate everything you're doing, and you know, they want you to suffer as much as they probably are sometimes. It's the fact that they just believe this propaganda that you think about it. I mean, I'm 50. I've been fed the same propaganda for 50 years. And even, I remember the first video I saw with Jordan Peterson talking about it. I thought, this guy's crazy, you know. And then I started doing a little bit more research, and then I come across his daughter, Michaela Peterson. And then started searching, found Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Chafee, you know, a lot of people out there who are really, really going into the science of our history as a species and things like that. So I went through a period of probably about 6 months research, and then the plunge to take it, to start it. And even in the beginning when I started it, I was very skeptical and very worried and nervous, you know, but I thought I have to do something. So for me, it's been a great benefit, and I can't see myself changing. But for anybody who's going to try it for themselves, do it for yourself. Just try it, ignore what anybody says, and just explain to them it's what you want to do. So the next biggest pushback that's going to come, and it's going to come hard, it's going to be when this becomes more and more popular, like as it's getting more popular now, and it's starting to gain some steam over the last 5 years. The moment that it starts breaking into the zeitgeist and it becomes mainstream is when there's going to be a major campaign and pushback against all this. The media will be involved, the governments will be involved, they'll get the climate things, they will try everything to push back against this narrative. Big pharmaceutical companies who are making billions every year from tablets that they keep giving you for your diabetes, your high blood pressure, you name it, whatever, there's going to be a major backlash. And big prominent figures who are big spokespeople out in this industry are going to be attacked, and they'll probably lose the medical licenses and things like that. But you've got to stay the course. It's one of those things that it's coming. Everybody can see it coming. It's just holding your breath until it does, and you've just got to push back as hard as you can. Stick together. Don't believe the hype. And it's unfortunate because I go out for a walk every day now. I'm walking for miles, and I see hundreds and hundreds of people, they're obese and they have disease, they've got diabetes, and there's so many ailments. And I think if they just tried this lifestyle, it could possibly change their life for the better, and they'd see a benefit. But you have to understand that human beings are human beings, and we're all going to do what we're going to do, and you can't force your way of lifestyle onto somebody else. That's what the vegans do. The militant vegans, we've all come across them, and you see it in the comment section, and they attack YouTubers for promoting carnivore, and they claim this moral superiority, as though their way of lifestyle, not one animal dies in producing their crops, and all the damage that it's doing to the ecosystem with the soil quality, the pesticides, all the bees, the insects, the rodents, the foxes. They're not cutesy animals, the birds. Billions of creatures that are dying every day, and they don't realise that we're all part of the same cycle of life. Every single thing on this planet, something has to die to feed something else. And I had this conversation with my wife, and she didn't understand. Like, well, nothing dies for me. And I'm like, well, yes, obviously there's animals that die in the wild, for farming. But anything that grows, anything that lives, a plant lives, it gets eaten, it's consumed. A caterpillar will eat a lettuce leaf, a bird will eat the caterpillar, a hawk will eat the bird, and so on, and the cat will eat that. It just goes on. And eventually, when it comes to my time, I eat animals. I don't worry about that anymore. But eventually, when it comes my time, I'll die, I'll be buried, and I'll be recycled back into the earth. And it's just how it goes, And then the worms and the bugs will be eating me. It sounds a bit morbid, but that's just how life is. Everything in the wild, I'm all for ethical farming, and I always try and look for the better treatment of animals, even though I eat them. I don't like the mass factory farming and things like that. I'll always go to my local butcher, try and find out where the meats come from, all that type of stuff. But not everybody can do that, and you just have to start. But the more people that start to live this way of lifestyle, and the more people start speaking out, the more you can start to demand on the better treatment of animals while they're alive. We all want to be treated as well as possible while we're alive, but we're all going to be recycled one day in one way or another. So, but the more of us that keep putting this word out there, and the more we stick together and fight back against this big media narrative that's going to come in the next year or two, I believe, the more demand that we have for better treatment of the animals that we eat. And I can see some vegans now pulling their hair out and saying, oh, how hypocritical and things like that. It's just life. Just get on with your own life. You live how you want to live. I will live how I want to live. I'm not going to push my lifestyle on anyone. I'm just putting information out there to tell people this benefited me. And this has really, really changed my life for the better. After 50 years of going up and down, trying different diets, I've never felt so good for a 50-year-old man. I feel like I'm 21 again. And I read the comments of bigger YouTubers whose lives have completely changed. You know, they've reversed type 2 diabetes, arthritis, you know, you name it. The mental ability, that's the biggest one for me. It was the anxiety and depression that had got hold of me for the last 4 years. Within 30 days, I was like, it gave me more than a tablet ever did. And I took some major medication over the years, you know, and tried things. You're desperate, and that's all they want. They just want you to give you a tablet. And you know, the longer I could stay out of the doctors, the better for me, because all they want to do now is just give you a tablet, push you on to the next thing. They maintain everything. They're not curing anything anymore. They're not solving any problems. There's too much money involved. So live how you want to live. If you're thinking about trying the carnivore lifestyle, just set yourself a goal of 30 days. That's what I did. Initially 30 days, and then after 30 days I said I'm going to go 90 days. I'm on day 65, and I foresee myself sticking this for as long as I live, because it makes me happy. I feel great, I feel as young as I ever did, and it's got me productive again, and nothing's going to change that. Even, you know, there's a controversial statement that even if it was true and eating meat and fat was going to shorten your life, it's not true. But if say for argument's sake that it is true, and say it's going to knock 10 years off your life, would you rather live to 90 feeling like absolute garbage and in pain and with so many medications every single day, or would you rather live a shorter, happier, healthier life while you're here? And for me, I would rather live a shorter, happy, healthier life. But I truly believe that my lifespan's not going to be any different to anybody else. I'm just going to live it longer and happier and healthier while I eat and live this way. So, thanks for sticking along as long as you have. I do have a tendency to ramble, and apologies for anybody who may not get my accent. I've come to notice as I've watched back on some of my YouTube channels that I do have quite a thick accent. You know, I'm from Yorkshire, central England, countryside, and I'm trying to be a bit more conscious of pronouncing my words a bit more clearly so people can understand, because I get that some people may be turned off from that. You know, it's probably like me listening to someone from Alabama, you know, not understanding a word, getting some of it, but not all of it. So, like and subscribe on my channel. I've got plenty of videos coming up. All this building I'm doing behind me, the raised beds, the workshop, the chicken coop, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Laters.